Safe Space Cafe. News, music, and comedy.
Don't want to see get put NDP and the Bloc clearly are demonstrating that they want to be part of.
Member for Carleton.
Yesterday, the finance minister decided to delay her own budget by punting debate on that budget in order to ram through C10. This at a time when our unemployment is higher than the UK, the US, Japan, Germany, the G7, OECD, and there are 500,000 missing jobs. That same budget said all of the pre-COVID jobs will be recovered by this month. Will this finance minister keep her word and guarantee that every single pre-COVID job will be recovered by this month when the numbers come out early next month?
Mr. Speaker, let me remind the member opposite that thanks to the resilience and the strength of Canadians, Canada has recovered 81% of the COVID recession job losses. That's compared to just 66% recovered in the United States. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? Canadians do need more support for our economy to come roaring back from the deepest recession since the Great Depression. They need the strong support measures in the budget, including the wage subsidy, including the CRB, including the Canada Recovery Hiring Credit. And Mr. Speaker, it is the Conservatives that are stopping the budget from being passed.
Well, member for Carleton.
Well, she likes her budget so much, it's so strange that yesterday she decided to delay it. But maybe it's for the better that she's delaying her own budget, because so far what it has delivered is the second highest unemployment in the G7, the highest inflation in a decade, the fastest increases in housing prices, preventing the poor, working class, and young from ever owning a home, and the prospect of a forthcoming debt crisis. All I'm asking is whether she'll keep her promise from chart 35 in that same budget. Will the government have reinstated all the pre-COVID jobs by this month? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, that's a bit rich coming from that party, Mr. Speaker. 2 days ago, like Friday, it was about 10:30 a.m., they decided that they want to shut down Parliament. They moved the motion to shut down Parliament. They had enough work. They want to go out for a cocktails or drinks or whatever, Mr. Speaker. We wanted to work. They wanted to shut down Parliament. Then we wanted to extend the hours. They refused. And after that, Mr. Speaker, they started filibustering. C30 is absolutely essential. Canadians need that bill, and we hope the Conservative will stop blocking everything.
I just want to consult with the honourable members. Is it okay if we continue with question period? Good. Thank you. Oral questions. Question orale, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, 300,000 Canadians lost their jobs because of the Prime Minister's vaccine failure. Canadians can't live like this. While the Prime Minister is gallivanting around Europe meeting celebrities. As the Dean of the G7, how will this trip help him recoup the jobs that have been lost for these 300,000 hopeless Canadians? The Honourable Minister.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to remind us of what really matters to Canadians and what this House can do to support Canadians as we finish our fight against COVID. Unfortunately, over the last 2 weeks, Conservatives have used all kinds of procedural tricks to delay debate on Bill C-30. Canadians expect better. They expect us to get this bill passed.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it's not just the job market that's becoming unstable. Yesterday, the Globe and Mail reported that a private investor purchased hundreds of Toronto homes just to turn a quick profit. No wonder housing prices are up nearly 40% this year. First-time homebuyers literally can't afford more of the same from this government. Does the Prime Minister really expect first-time homebuyers to compete with billionaire investors?
The Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, our government introduced Canada's first ever national housing strategy. As part of that strategy, we introduced the first-time homebuyer incentive, which will help families achieve the dream of home ownership by lowering monthly mortgage payments without increasing down payments. We recently also expanded the first-time homebuyer incentive to enhance eligibility in Toronto, Vancouver, and Victoria by raising the qualifying income threshold to $150,000. Mr. Speaker, maybe the leader of the official opposition can do something to support our budget, which helps first-time homebuyers.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the minister admits it's his plan that is failing. And it's worse, Mr. Speaker. According to Bloomberg, Canada is in danger of experiencing a housing market crash similar to the 2008 financial crisis. Unlike the Liberals and that minister, Conservatives have a 5-point plan to secure Canada's future, including for first-time homebuyers. Can the Prime Minister guarantee Canadians that housing prices will stabilize and ultimately decrease before the end of the summer?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, our record speaks for itself. We're the only party who has taken concrete action to create more affordable housing. We brought in the now more than $70 billion national housing strategy. We brought in the first-time homebuyer incentive. We brought in the Canada Housing Benefit. We increased supports for the rental construction financing initiative. And on every single one of these measures, the Conservatives voted against them. Not only did they do nothing while they were in government, they continue to do nothing in opposition. So the leader of the official opposition should turn around and help Canadians by supporting this budget.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaking of records speaking for themselves, Mr. Speaker, falsifying your service record, throwing Admiral Mark Norman under the bus, covering up sexual misconduct. That's not the record of a minister.
Judicial appointments and the process utilized by this government, including the use of the government's partisan database known as Liberal List, the committee should invite the Minister of Justice to appear and that the committee report its findings to the House. Now, that is my motion, Madam Chair. Now,
sorry, Mr. Cooper, I'm just going to stop you there for a second. I'm wondering, just for the purpose for all members, if you have it in writing, that perhaps you can circulate via email as well to us as you speak.
We will circulate.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I think over the last number of months, there have been allegations that have been substantiated about political interference directed by the PMO with respect to the appointment of judges. And those allegations surfaced last year, first by Francois Landry, a political aide who worked directly on the judicial appointment process in the office of the Minister of Justice, David Lametti.
I think Ms. Vecchio.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Vecchio. Sorry, Ms. Vecchio, you'll go.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks very much. I wasn't sure about this, but thanks very much. And Mr. Pro, thank you very much for being here today, because I think you've brought in so much commentary on what this could look like and what we should be looking at. And of course, this is the first time that we've had a chance to really discuss looking at Bill C-19 and even the facts that you brought out about a 3-day writ versus a 1-day writ, all of these different issues that you're talking about. It's things that we need to really reflect on. At this time, I recognize that there are opportunities for questions, but I did want to move a motion specifically because specifically after hearing Mr. Perot, it gives us good reasons to make sure that there's opportunities for other witnesses. So I had put this motion on notice just on Friday, and I'd like to move the following motion, that in relation to its considerations of Bill C-19, an act to amend the Canada Elections Act COVID-19 response, the committee, A, invite the following to appear as witnesses at their earliest opportunities and prior to clause-by-clause consideration, the Chief Electoral Officer, and thank you, Mr. Perot, for being here today. It's been useful. Panel consisting of the Chief Electoral Officer of Newfoundland, Labrador, and the Chief Medical Officer of the Health of Newfoundland and Labrador as well. Panel can, yeah.
Ms. Vecchio, could you slow down? You're going very fast for the interpretation.
Yes. Okay, not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so section 3, a panel consisting of representatives of the Liberal Party of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador, and the New Democratic Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. Number 4.
Madame la Présidente.
Mr. Luzon?
Point of order. Ms. Vecchio is speaking at much too high a speed, and interpretation cannot keep up. We cannot understand what is being said.
Slow it down and start from the beginning.
Absolutely. And perhaps we can, Ms. Hoda, I believe that this motion is actually already, it should be on notice already, so it's there if anyone wants to refer to it. But I will start from the top then. That in relation to its consideration of Bill C-19, an act to amend the Canada Elections Act, the committee, A, invite the following to appear as witnesses at their earliest opportunities and prior to clause-by-clause consideration. 1, the Chief Electoral Officer. 2, a panel consisting of the Chief Electoral Officer of Newfoundland and Labrador and the Chief Medical Officer of Health for Newfoundland and Labrador. 3, a panel consisting of representatives of the Liberal Party of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador, and the New Democratic Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. A panel consisting of the Chief Electoral Officer of the Yukon and the Chief Electoral Officer of New Brunswick. A panel of our 4 returning riding officers, with 1 nominated by each recognized party. The reason we're, and I'll just a little on a side, is as you indicated, everything is going to have to be looked at. And although Mr. Perot has been out there working with his people, it's really important that we also recognize some of those challenges. 5 or 6, representatives of the Canadian Association of Long-Term Care. And 7, a panel of professors, Peter Russell, William Cross, Ken Carty, and Kelly Bildock. And finally, B, invite the appropriate technical officials from the Office of the Chief Electoral Officer, in addition to the usual officials from the Privy Council Office, to appear during the clause.
Don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, and comment. Safe Space Cafe. And always, have a good day.